All right. So welcome back,
Thank
Vicky
you
and
so
Shegun.
much.
Thank
It's good
you.
to have you again.
It's lovely to see you guys again.
Yeah.
On our last episode, we, delved into the topic of the pain of the weight of infertility, the lonely, long, tortuous journey,
Yeah.
which, to the glory of God, ended in the miraculous birth of your handsome son
Thank
Yeah.
you.
and this very beautiful book
Mhm.
that we see here today, Navigating the Weight by Faith and Science, Our Journey to Parenthood,
Yeah.
authored by Shegun Adeyemi,
Yeah.
clearly, of course, depicting the experience of their 15-year wait. Can you believe that? And so today, I want us to speak about the process,
Okay.
because clearly now we have a result,
Yeah.
or we have a couple of results, and of course, we pray and hope that we'll get, more blessings
Yeah.
as this. And so there was a process. It didn't just happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I want us to talk today to delve into the process of medical science, the process of faith, how faith helped you on your journey, community support,
Mhm.
and how, eventually this culminated into the beautiful beginnings that we have right now.
Great.
And so I'll share, a couple of questions so that, of course, the viewers can take away something to help
Okay.
them on their own journeys as they wait.
Mhm.
So our first question is, what prompted you to explore medical treatments? And how how did that path go?
Do you want me to take
I think you should take that.
Oh, great. So thank you again, Grandu, for being here today again. We're grateful for this privilege and opportunity to be able to share our stories. We don't take it for granted at all. So, for your question, what prompted us to begin to explore medical options? As we began our journey of marriage, we started getting concerned based on what we discussed in the previous episode at about 1 year, after we tried consistently with unprotected corridors without any results. After some time, we felt, yeah, we have been praying, we have been doing things right. I'm also a physician, as most of us know, and it's not lost on me the relevance of medical science with what's happening with us. And the good thing about that is that it gives me the opportunity to be able to look inwards myself. It's whatever is happening is the male oriented factor that needs to be looked into. Because honestly speaking, and that's one thing that I want some of our viewers to take away from this. Many people tend to just assume that when there is infertility amongst the couple, it has to be the woman. No, it could be either the man or the woman. And one of the things that was really very clear to me at the beginning of our infertility journey was it could be me, honestly speaking, because I'd never had to check any of my, fertility parameters before. I didn't have any reason to. So this was some of the opportunities to do that. What's my sperm count like? What's the motility of my sperm like? These are some of the things that many men out there don't want to hear. It almost seems as if you're challenging their masculinity. What do you mean? I'm a man, blah blah blah. It doesn't make you just a man to go check. Be sure, where am I on this path, So that for me was an opening to say, okay, let us be open-minded about this and see how we approach it. And as we began that journey together, she was open about going for tests. I was open about going for tests, and we did that. And should be told, the first 1 2 years, I would say, after we started seeking medical sort of intervention, there was neither any form of abnormality, quote unquote, found with me or Buki as the first 1 2 years. Later on, things began to change, but so that gave us clarity. It's okay, we're fine. There's nothing wrong with us. Let's just keep trying and all of that. So I'm going to leave it for Buki. Maybe Buki has something to add to this.
Well, yes, I think you've said most of the things I should have said or would have said. But I would just add that I think what's really warranted me to opt for medical intervention at that point was because of the symptoms I was experiencing. Like I mentioned in the previous episode, that I was, my menstrual cycle every month it was horrible. I had terrible pains that, you know, terrible pains with associated with so much throwing up, vomiting, and stomach upset, ulcer pain. I knew, this is not right. There's something wrong. And like he mentioned, that we went to seek opinions, went to see doctors, and they kept saying everything was fine. I didn't have fibroids, I didn't have anything, everything was fine. But I still knew that something wasn't right. Also, when we moved to Abuja, we changed doctors, and then that was when we started seeing so many other things being unraveled. Like I think you're having endometriosis, and it's further tests and procedures and so many other things. It was confirmed that I had endometriosis. So yeah, so at that point in time, I knew that okay, I think this is number one factor. Let me not say number one factor, right? But it's a big factor when it comes to trying to achieve pregnancy. It won't. It's just someone with endometriosis is at a little bit of disadvantage when it comes to conceiving. So let me put it mildly that way. So it's not as if with that you can't have a child, but it just depends on the stages that you are in at that point in time. So it has like stage 1 to 4. Yeah, so it depends on where you are at that point in time. Yeah, so I think that's what that's what I wanted to. So and then later on we found that I was having fibroids also. So it was fibroids and endometriosis. That was with time. The endometriosis was first, then before we knew it, the fibroid tissue started fair enough. It was like it was everywhere. So it was everywhere. At the time, the doctor said that it looked like was it 16 or 18 weeks with 18 weeks pregnancy. Yeah. So at that point, then I had to do surgery that took care of both the fibroids and endometriosis. Yes. And after the surgery, I had the best relief ever. No, no form of stomach upset, nothing. My periods, I won't even know. I will just notice. I think I'm bleeding. That was the best. It was really good. I felt so good. But even after that, nothing, nothing still happened. So let me just leave that and let me not talk about that yet now. But that's why we went for medical intervention at that point in time.
All right. So thank you very much for sharing with us the pivotal moment that you thought that it was important to seek medical support. I know that when we had our first episode, we'd spoken a bit about some of the things that we did.
Yes.
But would you like to share with us some of the procedures that you had to do? Specific medical procedures that you had to do, and if you're comfortable enough to share the number that you had to, because there are a couple of people who hear about some of these procedures and they usually think that one times, silver bullet, that's is going to happen. So if you could shed more light on that, I'd appreciate that very much.
Okay, thank you for that question. So I think I started with ultrasounds, which people call abdominal scans. And honestly, if I should count how many abdominal scans I've had, the least I can think of is like 100. Wow. Yes, that's the least, because I can't even count how many I've had. So, from abdominal scans, I did the first fibro surgery. I did laparoscopy, right? Yeah. Then HSGs, and the other one saline HSG. Yeah, so I did HSG. Probably Shegu could explain on that. I know it's a process whereby they pass dye into your tubes to see if it's how patent they are. Yeah, so I did for HSG, probably I did like 50, 60. Maybe I lost count at the particular point in time. Yes. And then it was painful. Yeah. It was terrible. But unfortunately, when I moved to the US, when I do my HSGs, I feel nothing. I didn't even know that I was doing any procedure. Before I know, they're done. And I'm like, I really wonder why it was so painful in Nigeria. Anyways, that's by the way. So I did a lot of HSGs. Then there's another one they call saline HSG. And then I did, there was a time my right tube was not patent enough and I had to surgically remove that again. And what else again did I do?
Inseminations.
Yeah, inseminations. I did a lot of yes, like 2 inseminations because I the first time I didn't want to go into IVF right away. So while we were in Nigeria, I did the first insemination, I did the second insemination, and doctor was like, "Oh, you have good eggs, everything looked good," but it still didn't work. And then after that, it's like you're going from one class to the other. You graduate to IVF, and then we did the first IVF cycle, and that starts with the preparing you to for egg retrieval, where you take a lot of shots or injections every day. It has to be at a particular time of the day, and then anyway you are had to rush home. Then, in fact, I can remember then we were not. I think nowadays you actually take those injections home so you can give yourself. But then I had to go to the hospital every day. So at work, I would just have to run, drive through all the traffic, and get my injection. By the time I'm back at work, I'm like, I'm so tired. So I had to do that every day for I think you take the injections for 14 days, and every day you have to do ultrasounds.
Wow.
Yes, you have to do. I have to do ultrasounds every day to see how the eggs are growing because they show me past a particular measurement. So I had to do that every day. And probably, I think day 14 or 15, I come into the hospital, then they surgically remove the eggs under general anesthesia. The first time they didn't do that. They just kept saying it wasn't that painful. They gave me some just.
Like ketamine.
Yeah, I almost passed out. So eventually they changed that. Oh, they were like, "Oh, I'm not strong. You should be strong. You're a woman." I'm like, "Do you know the kind of pain I'm going through?"
Already
Before that, and you are saying that, "Oh, I should be strong." Anyways, that's aside. So the eggs will be taken out and then fertilized with my husband's sperm. I'm sure he has his own story to tell about that. And then after you keep doing, okay, after that they give you a date to come in for the transfers. Probably it's usually between 5 days, between day 4 or 5 after the egg retrieval. You're still sore and all of that because your stomach hurts like, oh god, it's really, you can't even bend, you can't do anything, you're in so much pain. And then you do the transfer, and then you have to wait for 12 to 14 days. And I can tell you that those 12 to 14 days, you really don't want to wait because it's like everything you do, you question yourself. Oh, am I? Oh God, implantation must happen. If you sit too suddenly, I'm like, oh, I think I've spotted the whole thing. If I jump up, I'm like, oh my God. If I climb down the stairs, if I climb, oh my God. If I sleep this way, I was just everything I did, I was questioning everything I was doing. If I use hot water to shower, I'm like, oh God, maybe I've killed the baby. It was, sometimes it's as if I'm running mad. I'm going crazy because of that. And then they will tell you, do not test at home. Well, trust me. By day 5, I'm already testing. In fact, by day 10, if I don't see, it got to a time that after the first, second, third cycle, by day 10, if I do not see anything, I just stop using my medication because I'm like, nothing is happening. There's no point. But that shouldn't be the case. I should still keep, testing until my blood test is done. So, well, so first one, second, third, fourth, nothing. Okay, some of them we had implantation, we had baby, we did some couple of scans, like first scans, second scans, and then 11th week, the miscarriage happened. And that day it was so sad. We were already happy that, oh, finally, week 10, and then we just went in for a scan, no cramping, nothing. And the doctors just said, no, no heartbeat. I'm like, what are you talking about? Said, and it was so cold. It was so cold. He was like, no, no heartbeat. Just let's do a DNC. I just told him, sir, I need to go home and think about this. Oh yeah, you can expel it on your own. You don't have to do that. And it was so cold. It was really cold. I didn't want to see that doctor ever again. So first one, second failed, third miscarried, I think fourth one miscarried, fifth one failed, sixth one failed, seventh one, eighth, then the ninth one. And all those times I was waiting, I was doing so many procedures, second surgery, then I was still trying to just freeze my eggs because I just felt that there was no point waiting doing anything. Let me just keep doing something while waiting. Let me keep getting eggs, getting embryos, so that probably, maybe even if I can't carry my child, somebody else can help me do that in future. So I was like, it shouldn't be me. Even if it's not meant to be me, if somebody else can help me do that, but I'm going to make it easy for that person by having embryos in place. So the person would have to go through all of that, poking and all of that. Just do the transfer and then you carry my baby for me. So I was just saying, okay, you know what? Let's just keep saving these eggs and embryos. So that was what I was doing. So that's pretty much summarizes the process. But
I could hear that she was saying, why would you not be able to produce semen? Do you know what I've gone through after everything, all this injection, blah, 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 to just put it? The woman could not control the anger she had for her husband to not be able to produce semen when it was needed after all she had gone through, all the pokings, all the. And in my own mind at that point in time, I almost joined the art to flog the man that really you can produce semen. I never knew mine was coming for me.